Sweet. And just. There we go. I need to really remember to send messages before I start these. Or finish conversations. Alright, son of a bitch. Get in there. There you go. Ah! Alright. Okay, cool. My God. Oh, really? Seriously? Oh, you know what? Let me freeze these. These are still good. Don't want these to go bad. Next time I get a burrito, I can eat them. No, get back in. There you go. Alright. Whoa. Look at hell. What the fuck? Every Fruit Loops flavored fucking thing that I taste, it tastes exactly like that shit. It tastes exactly like the fucking Fruit Loops, dude. Bruh. Does that just prove how artificial the Fruit Loops flavors are? Because, wow. It's just liquid Fruit Loops. It's straight up. This is just straight liquid Fruit Loops. It's like drinking the milk of like a fat Fruit Loops bowl. But without cereal. Which that I'm okay with. I do that already as it is. Anyway, let's get ourselves loaded for a wake and bake, yeah. And do some errands for today. All that fun shit. Alright, grinder. Get picked down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Alright. Sweet. Alright, I'll put this right here. Or at least I should get some background music on here. All that fun and shit. Oh fuck, Channel 5 uploaded some shit. SneakerCon plus WeddingCon. Okay. Seems a little interesting. A WeddingCon, huh? What the what is the I don't even want to know. I freaking really don't even want to know. A wedding or a convention, or like, you know, a con, but it's for weddings? Or I don't know. It seems a little odd. Oh, okay. Whoa, fucking hell. What am I goddamn tripping on? What was this? Seriously? Here, go over there. Hey, buddy. Make sure Gake's close on you. Alright, you're good. He's Gucci. He's a good boy. Just wanted to make sure that the gate was closed so you weren't running off in the front yard. I don't need that. I don't need that from you, bro. It's not cool. Not cool at all. Look at you. He's a sweet little goofball. Yeah. Yeah, what? What? Oh, Jesus Christ. Time to get the brain woken up here. Now I got a bowl loaded up, yeah. Time to get the brain woken up. We'll see. That ain't gonna really happen until I get a coffee in me. Nothing ain't really gonna truly wake me up until I get a little bit of that caffeine in me. A little of that devil's coffee. You got the devil's lettuce, and then you got some of the devil's beans. The coffee bean. God damn it. There we go. Ooh, that feels good. My goodness. Nice little beginning bowl of the day. Oh yes, THC chemicals, all the drugs go into my brain. Yeah, what is this? Goddamn, weed, please. Don't need to hit me that harsh. Fact checkers attempt to disprove 10-year-old abortion story, and then it backfires. Oh my god. Wow. How much of a like scumfuck do you have to be like, oh yeah, that 10-year-old being, you know, raped and having pregnancy is fake news. It's literally a bunch of fake news bullshit. Like, what? Dude, these fucking pro-lifers, dude. They know no bounds. Well, if anything, they're just like pro-death advocates. Save the unborn to kill the young. Not surprised with that. Oh, here. Let me turn that down. I already know that's going to be kind of loud. There we go.
So we talked about a plethora of stories that demonstrate how harmful the Supreme Court's reversal of Roe v. Wade has already been for women and girls in the United States. And one of those stories is this story about a 10-year-old child in Ohio who was denied an abortion and forced to travel to Indiana in order to terminate her pregnancy. Now, after that story broke, for whatever reason, mainstream media pundits and fact-checkers decided to try to poke holes in the story when there was nothing particularly doubtful about the story. I mean, this is a relatively common story. I think the only surprise was how quickly this type show 10-year-old Ohio rape victim her pregnancy. Now, after that story broke, for whatever reason, a relatively common story, I think the only surprise was how quickly this type of story came out following the reversal of Roe v. Wade. But these things are an inevitability in a post-Roe world. But regardless, fact-checkers were...
I mean, also, if a lot of the states that were heavily prohibitive towards abortion rights, as it was anyway before Roe v. Wade getting taken out, it was also pretty much a fucking common occurrence. Like, this shit happens a lot, especially in fucking southern states.
Incredibly disingenuous about this story. So let's look at some headlines shared by journalist Ken Klippenstein. Quote, not a whisper of evidence to show 10-year-old Ohio rape victim got abortion in Indiana. Another one, an abortion story too good to confirm. This was published by the editorial board of the Wall Street Journal. Fox News writes,
oh my God.
Writes, Biden-cited story of 10-year-old Ohio rape victim needing abortion still not verified by fact-checkers. Snopes, Washington Post unable to verify viral story. Governor Kristi Noem writes, a week ago, Dana Bash on CNN tried to trap me with a story about a 10-year-old girl who got an abortion. I pointed out that nobody was asking about the pervert who raped that child. Now it looks like the story was fake to begin with. Literal fake news from the liberal media. Now there's more, but let's just pause.
So, oh my God. Oh, wow. So, my little joke about it, but wow, so there's people literally saying that. You can't parody. You just can't parody Earth anymore. You can't parody this goddamn fucking world. These fucking fascist motherfuckers,
since
dude.
When was being unable to verify a story or confirm every single detail tantamount to that story just being completely bogus? In what way does it mean that if you can't verify details of the story as a fact checker, it's just that proves it's fake? I don't know how they came to this conclusion, but odds are there were a lot of pundits and media figures that wanted to come to this conclusion because they wanted to make it seem as if liberals were being too hysterical over the repeal of Roe v. Wade. Now, let's
pretty much the whole idea that, like, oh, well, the left is at it again, being all triggered or some shit. The libs, they're all triggered. It's basically just, a way to couch on to that fucking idea constantly and endlessly, as they always fucking do. Because it's the mainstream media. Like, what they do is nothing but sensationalism. And what boosts their fucking profit margin. Like, when it comes to actual, stories that have harm and consequences to other people, like, 10-year-olds being fucking raped and shit, all of a sudden, then it's more of a sensationalist thing, and, we just have to literally get every tiny little itty-bitty detail fact of the story, or else it's bullshit. It's like, what? Oh, so it's just like, so the whole, like, reversal of women's rights and Roe v. Wade and shit like that, oh yeah, that's not bullshit, but, the whole, but this one particular story, it's like, oh, we gotta, like, hyper-focus and, like, poke as much holes in it as possible, make sure it's Swiss cheese.
Short compilation from Fox News about the way that they covered this.
So Primetime decided to investigate this alleged child rape. But we quickly found out that authorities in Ohio haven't even begun a criminal investigation into the rape. This doesn't make any sense.
To the point of the Indianapolis Star, Washington Post, there's no indication that the newspaper made other attempts to confirm her account. The story's lead reporter, you made this point during break, Sherry Rudavesky, did not respond to a query asking whether additional sourcing was obtained. And the single source said to the Washington Post, thank you for reaching out. I'm sorry, but I don't have any information to share. So just dark.
Yeah, and that's against the backdrop of their code of ethics, which also includes we use confidential sources, sole sources as the sole basis for published information only as a last resort, and under specific procedures that best serve the public's right to know. Well, that goes to what you were saying, where they have deemed that the public's right to know is folded in with their agenda. Take it from me, because my wheelhouse was criminal law as an attorney.
What? So, like, what people want to hear shit is now and coincide with their fucking agenda? What? What you mean, just, like, reality? And, you know, people grounded in reality, getting facts about reality? I mean, you know, like, people being grounded in reality, like, you know, getting this, quote, agenda, you know, might not have to agree or, you know, or disagree with it fundamentally, but they can, you know, understand that's a thing. Or, you know, at least, you know, be in support of, you know, the idea of, like, oh, yeah, you know, there's a lot of issues and a lot of problems that are going to come out due to the reversal of Roe v. Wade, and, yeah, like I said, you could agree or disagree of how severe that might be, though it's probably going to be very severe and deadly, and have nothing but abhorrently negative consequences and shit. But people who are actually grounded in fucking reality to understand that there ain't some fucking agenda to this, you stupid fascist Christo bitch.
Shortage of 10-year-old rape victims. There's victims from infants through the elderly, both genders. There is more than you can count. There are so many monsters out there. So for me, what I find...
Wait, so just because it happens, you know, from the elderly to infants and to every, you know, to both genders and everything in between, it is, like, certainly not that big of a deal that this is a thing because it happens everywhere and there's, quote, monsters everywhere. Didn't you just say that you're, like, you know, some sort of, you know, person of law and shit? So shouldn't you be like, yo, there's a lot of criminality that happens to this type of shit, and it's a very important thing that needs to be addressed, but it's just like, nah. Oh, you know, it's like these leftists want to try to address this fact that, like, a 10-year-old rape victim had to, like, literally go out of state to, you know, get an abortion for her rape baby. But, you know, it's just like, you know, it's like, come on now. It literally happens all the time. There's monsters everywhere. Like, I mean, it's just like, you always have to check for monsters under your bed before you go to sleep. I mean, come on now. It's like we fucking like, what? So we're gonna undermine a 10-year-old being raped this shit just because it happens all the time and there's monsters everywhere. Like, you actual scumfuck bitch.
is that they had to make up a fake one. There's actually
So they have to make a so the idea that, like, oh, there's, you know, people who perpetrate rapes and shit and towards children, oh, suddenly there's one very specific case that gets highlighted nationally and shit, and suddenly that's a fake monster or a fake case. What?
Real ones that I would love for them to use as advocacy for.
This is a real case, you stupid bitch.
Order for actually commitment,
you actual cunt,
to finding the perpetrator. But the fact that this alleged situation was created, and that was to serve
because of people like you and your fucking policies and what you advocate for, you actual cretin.
Public's right to know to further their position on abortion by a sort of sensationalist position now that has now gone dark with zero acknowledgement.
Oh, so the women's rights and progressives are being sensationalist? It sounds like you're being very fucking hyper-sensationalist there, bitch. Like, straight up. Like, oh, you know, these fucking libs and these leftists want to just, like, sensationalize this rape story. Oh my god, like, I mean, this is so absurd. Like, I mean, they don't actually want to look at real monsters. They literally want to create a fake one. I mean, like, just the absurdity of how they want to try to, like, you know, just take away the sanctity of life. How dare they? It's like, oh, that isn't sensationalist? That isn't?
And the victim, and so much more components of this that real people have dedicated their careers and their dramatic efforts to on a daily basis.
Quit projecting, you fucking moron.
That they think we're that simple, that they've reduced us. Oh, you're going to eat this up. You're not going to ask any questions.
No, you are able to be reduced to that because you're a stupid bitch.
And it's going to be really good for your talking.
Like, you literally are talking on Fox News. Like, I mean, come on now.
And then it gets
Quit projecting.
Amplified. It's horrifying. Americans know better than that. We're smarter than that, and we are more honorable than that.
So what does it tell us? The politicians are lying.
Oh my god! And then there was an amen in there too. Oh my god. Yeah. That. Okay. Fuck off. Fuck off with that. Oh god. No, not Carlson. Oh no. Oh god. Mike, why are you doing this to me, dude? Fuck. You're just like bombarding me now. What is this? The leftist spreading lies about ectopic pregnancy. Oh my fucking god. Man, they're going full ham. They are just like all in on the hyper fucking like forced birth fucking hyper anti-abortion Christo fascist idea at this point. Like they're just all in on that shit. It's back.
The Biden administration, speaking of lying, just repeat a story about a 10-year-old child who got pregnant.
It's never really gone away.
And then got an abortion, or was not allowed to get an abortion, when it turns out the story.
Did this fuck get a haircut? Like, he actually was looking somewhat alright when he had longer hair. Like, what, did he really, like, trimmed it down to look like some weird little, like bowl thing on his head? Like, oh my god.
Gross. Pregnant, the first question is not, how do we get rid of the kid? The first question is, where's the rapist? Where's the rapist?
Yeah. So,
oh my fucking god. Like, I like how that's their main issue. It's like, oh, where's the rapist in this situation? Oh, well, why aren't we hearing anything about that? It's like, does this, like, fundamentally matter? Like, like, the 10-year-old was, fucking raped and could not get an abortion in that state. That's that's, like, the biggest fucking issue about it all. Outside, the fact that, it happened in the first place is... And, what makes it even worse is the prohibition of that 10-year-old being able to get an abortion in the state she was raped in. That's why it's being hyper-fucking-focused on. Weird. Now that I have to cook such a loser. He is he's more than just a fucking loser. He's an absolute fucking propagandist and a careerist fucking white supremacist fascist hack, so... I mean, nothing's exactly, unique out of that front, coming from him as a propagandist, but, ugh. At least it wasn't a long clip. I'll give Mike that at least. Thank fuck.
It was, proven to be completely, true. Yeah, it's true. So as the Columbia Dispatch reports, arrest made in rape of Ohio girl that led to Indiana abortion drawing international attention.
Oh, so this person was arrested.
Fuentes, 27, whose last known address was an apartment on Columbus's northwest side, was arrested Tuesday after police say he confessed to raping the child on at least 2 occasions. He's since been charged with rape, a felony of the first degree in Ohio. Columbus police were made aware of...
for such a fake story, apparently the dude not only has admitted to it twice, there's the name of the guy, and also at least has, his fucking, one of his former addresses, documented. So it's like this dude is very well aware of, known of now at this rate. But, where's the rapist? It's like, I don't know, in fucking prison, you actual retards? Like, that's where he is. Like, why do you think no one's mentioning him specifically? Because, like, what happened with him has already been said and done. He's in fucking prison going, going to go through his fucking trial. Which, especially since he admitted to it on 2 different occasions, guaranteed he's going to be fucking guilty. And considering what, happens to pedophiles in prisons and shit, he ain't going to live very long. Or at least, have a very good time in prison. So, if people are aware about what the fuck he's done in prison and they know of him and shit, he ain't going to be there for long. Not because he gets let out for good behavior, I'll give you that. His last name's Fuentes. if only it was Nick Fuentes. Because then it'd still be fucked, but at least at that point it would be like, well, it just hyper-vindicates, a lot about what those fucking creeps are about and shit. And about, what a lot of their, hyper-controlling fascistic ideologies about and shit. Because, honestly, knowing Nick Fuentes, I guarantee you that he would most certainly have a child marriage arranged for himself. He's young enough for it. Not that to the age of him would fucking matter. Like, he'd probably do it if he's fucking 40.
Franklin County Treatment Services that was made by her mother on June 22nd. Detective Jeffrey Hoon testified Wednesday morning at Fuentes' arraignment. On June 30th, the girl underwent a medical abortion in Indianapolis, Hoon said. Hoon also testified that DNA from the clinic in Indianapolis is being tested against samples from Fuentes as well as the child's siblings to confirm contribution to the aborted fetus. Now again, I understand that fact checkers like Snopes and Glenn Kessler of the Washington Post, who I think it's a stretch to even call him a fact checker at this point. I understand if you're not able to verify details of the story, and that's because there's a child victim involved. So these details are sensitive. They're going to try to restrict these details from the public to protect that child. But I'm
no
a journalist, right? But again, I've got to ask the question. Since when has being unable to independently verify details of a story implied that the story itself is completely bogus? How did we reach this conclusion collectively as a media establishment? I don't know. Part of it is, I think that pundits trying to both sides of the situation and try to be fair to Republicans and make it seem as if what they just did or what they wanted isn't as bad as liberals and lefties are making it seem. Maybe that's part of it. But another part of it, I fear, is that this is an indication that the most horrific abortion stories that will inevitably come out in a post-Roe America are going to be viewed as false flags. Now, why?
Honestly, it's very much so. It just because, I think a lot of it has to do with the phenomena that Trump started and shit, with the whole, fake news and all that shit. Because it's not like that type of idea of, news being bullshit, isn't, a new thing. It's always been a thing, but the phenomena that Trump able to capture of just it being such an easy quip, to dismiss as fake news if you have even the most slightest of skepticism and doesn't have the full story, especially at least to your liking, it's easy to just dismiss or go both sides with on. Because if you just dismiss something as fake news, then it's a lot more easier to have a back and forth on whether it's even a real fucking story or not. Which then just muddies the entire fucking waters and shit. Already thinks Uvalde was fake news with Stop Cities, him thinking this is fake. He actually, oh my... Wow. He initially was okay, he was initially thinking, Uvalde are a few bad apples, and now he just thinks it's fake. Even though there's literally more and more fucking video evidence proving that the fact of, they were, abhorrently fucking dog shit and allowed, the shooting to continue. So, I mean, it's there's, within, the first 3 minutes of the whole incident starting, there was, 3 officers that initially showed up. And it's at that point, it's alright, well, It's I could think at least, they're at least, going in there, immediate response, not much you can at least immediately do, in that situation right off the top of the bat. Maybe wait for, a couple more dudes, and shit, then move in. But when you got, 3 guys, and one of them's already armed with a fucking rifle, I think you got enough dudes, clear out, one guy shooting a fucking school. I think 3 guys can handle it, especially if one's armed with a goddamn rifle. I know people think the Ukraine war is fake. Oh my god. Are we serious? Whoa. Wow, I'm very allergic to stupidity. Oh my god. Jesus. It's just oh my god, it's honestly for me, it's the initial ideas about the whole, war in itself being done for is, a little sus in my mind, but the fact that the war is still a thing is very much, I don't know, real. So can't take the fact away that, yeah, there is a war there. I mean, for what reasons at this point, I think are, pretty much sussy as fuck from all sides of the whole metric of things, but nonetheless, it's still a thing. But it's a lot more simpler than just some weird thing that, yeah, it's just fake. Because it literally fucking isn't. It's if it is, then, I don't know, take a flight to Kiev. See if you can do that. I mean, you might have to take a stop, somewhere in Europe first, but, see, yeah, just go ahead. See. Just go ahead and see. See how it looks out there. Then, come back to me, Because because honestly, how? The only reason why people probably do is just because they're not there. They don't they don't see it. They just look at some videos and shit, and they're like, oh, that's somewhere else. This is bullshit. That's not real. And just think, that's pretty much about it, even though it's straight up pretty much the opposite. It's like, yeah, it's there just because you don't necessarily feel the direct consequences of it. During the war, and I literally know people who have been in Ukraine during the war and try to explain that to the people who the whole war is largely fake, but they're unwilling to listen to me. Oh my god. Of course, because you're pretty much, going against their narrative and idea about what the world is and shit, and in their mind, the Ukraine war isn't a thing. Which is, again, I don't even know how, one, if, wraps their head, I don't even know how to wrap my head around that, so... It's like, what do they think is going on there? Just nothing? It's like, oh yeah, just Ukraine's just kind of just chilling. Just doing this normal thing like he usually does over there, just kind of hanging out. Oh, Zukavko. No, it's in the backyard, but he's kind of been hanging out there the entire time. Oh, no, you're right there. Oh. Never mind. I turn a corner, he's just literally right there. People build their whole political ideologies on crazy conspiracy. If that turns out to be untrue, the whole ideology worldview crumbles like house cards. Yep. Exactly. And they can't allow that to be the case, so they have to basically be stubborn, steadfast in their idea, and just not budge from it, at all. I mean, it's just the only real way, that they could potentially, be tapped in from some shit like that, or be tapped out of something like that, is basically just, taking one of the, more insignificant cards from the house deck and shit, and then just, taking that out. Because, I mean, and which is kind of hard to explain, I guess, but when it comes to, a lot of the more deeper conspiracies and shit, you can't necessarily go, discuss those type of things right off the top of, right off the bat. You have to kind of, start some more smaller shit, if that makes sense. More, some more insignificant part of the conspiracy that could be poked. And they might be able to be like, oh, well, yeah, I guess that part of it might be a little weird, but yeah. But they're still going to do their shit, but at least, kind of starts putting those seeds in there where they, may start having some skepticism and shit. Is it likely to work? Probably not, but, at least, it has the potential of at least planting those seeds and maybe sprouting. Maybe.
Are going to come out. Women will be harmed. Women will die because Roe versus Wade has been overturned. But why? We know what's going to happen. Well, they know that this hurts the cause for forced births. In Ireland, the country had a collective change of heart because of one story where a woman died because she was denied access to an abortion. So in the United States, if these stories begin to be published one after another of a woman with an ectopic pregnancy dying, or a 10-year-old rape victim getting denied an abortion, that is going to collectively change the public consciousness even more. And conservatives know that they're already on thin ice. They know that a majority of Americans supported Roe v. Wade. So they know that what they did was incredibly extremist and unpopular. So if more and more stories begin to come up, then that will keep this on the public's collective consciousness, and this will facilitate more protests,
True.
People getting outraged and lashing out at government for failing to protect women. So that's what I think maybe it is. But, I mean, when it comes to conservatives and conservatives...
I definitely think a lot of the element of people having more backlash as more of these stories come out is definitely a way to try to suppress that. To be like, nah, it's kind of some bullshit. To try to imply that, some false flags and shit, because if, there's more people that might believe that, or at least have skepticism in the stories, it's less likely they're going to be outraged over it. Which, obviously, is abhorrent, but, of course, it's what the fucking, fourth arm, the establishment is, about, and it's about continuing and the maintenance of the status quo, or the reversal of it by degrading further into this more Christo traditionalism. But either way, it's pretty much whatever it is, that's necessary to enforce and keep that, stable. Even though it's on kind of, some short legs now at this point. Most of these people get their ideas from externals but aren't religious, so I feel like the idea, because everything Jones believes based in his religious beliefs, is a good place to start. Yeah, because there is definitely an element where a lot of people that believe in these conspiracies aren't necessarily religious. I mean, a lot of them are, but not all of them. And for the ones that aren't, tapping into, like, hey, a lot of these, conspiracy nuts that, you happen to follow stuff are very religious and base a lot of their views around that. And if you're not religious, I mean, it's like, what would you think about that? And just kind of go from there. Because that's, because it's, I think, an easier way to at least, poke some holes into that, at least when it comes to one element of a lot of crazy conspiracy nut bolts, balls, but, whatever, same diff.
Everything that's inconvenient to their narrative is deemed a false flag or conspiracy theory, but I think that this is an indication that we have to be on the lookout for these fact checkers and anyone who wants to help conservatives. They're going to be crying false flag at any abortion story. Now, of course, we should remain skeptical and be cautious and do our due diligence, but with regard to this particular story, there was nothing about it that raised any red flags in my head. And again, not a journalist, so I'm not an expert. These are supposed to be the experts. But there's nothing about this story that's particularly unbelievable. But yet, that didn't stop
there isn't
fact checkers from poking holes in it. As the Wall Street Journal smugly put it, oh, it's an abortion story that's just too good to be true. As if this sort of a story is so out of the norm in countries where abortions are denied.
And also applying that it's like, like the story is supposed to be kind of like a good thing. It's like, oh, this abortion story, it's just too good to be true for it to be a thing, for, to be used as outrage points. Oh, it's just too good. Oh, too good to be true. It's like, what is that fucking thinking, implying shit? It's like, what? That, like, really, that these stories are okay because it could get you fucking, little, like, click points, to make sure that people click at your fucking articles? Pretty fucking sociopathic in my mind.
If we're this early into a post-war America and media is already fucking up this bad, it goes to show you it's going to be a really bumpy road ahead if the media won't even do the bare minimum and just report facts and stop trying to poke holes in particular stories for purposes of serving the right wing's narrative. What is the point of this?
But how do we get clicks and views, and how do we make money doing that? It's like, yeah, we're journalists, but, hey, money comes first. Come on now. Don't you know what system we live in? Little rebel yell, ignores crying, more. Ugh. Ugh. This country is ridiculous. Like, frankly, it's just like, if it isn't going to be, like, some sort of mass, like, political, like, shift and ultimatum that happens in a country, it's probably going to be, like, some balkanization shit. And kind of, frankly, either or, I'm very openly okay with it. Because, Jesus Christ, we're literally continuously, slowly but surely, regressing into a shithole. And wow. We're gonna have some fun times over here, boy. Brother, we're gonna have some fun times in America. Just strap in. Where we're going, bud, there's gonna be some real bud. It's a modern Holy Roman Empire. That's kind of being charitable to it in a sense. It's like a more modernized Roman Empire. Because calling it a Holy Roman Empire implies that it can, survive for longer than it already has. Because the Holy Roman Empire has been around for a long fucking time. And also was not really one unified state, but just multiple nations and city-states and shit like that that were all kind of loosely unified. While we're all still technically one nation. So, I'd say it's more like the actual Roman Empire more than the Holy Roman one. Here, little goof. Little sweet goofy baby. Oh my god. Should do a cannabis for his life. I just did one a minute ago. Here. Look at this. Fox News calls free speech domestic terrorism. Hannity. He's in the steakhouse. They're harassing and intimidating him. Laura Trump. This is domestic terrorism. Where's the AG? Where's the DOJ? Where's the FBI? What the fuck? Oh boy.
You had Brett Kavanaugh go to Morton's Steakhouse, and he was sitting there eating, and some protesters saw that he was there. Some people who were pro-choice realized, oh shit, Brett Kavanaugh's there. And so they started protesting. Now, I don't know all the specifics of the story.
So pretty much, you know, being based and making sure that this worthless parasite of a Supreme Court judge, you know, gets harassed and fucking heckled every place that he fucking, you know, goes. Good. Based. Awesome. And it's like, yeah, guess what? That is, like, you know, free speech protection, motherfucker. Like, yeah, they could get heckled and, like, verbally accosted and everything in between and shit, you know, outside of literally, you know, throwing hands. So it's just like, yeah, like, I mean, get fucked. Like, that is free speech. Like, what?
Of the steakhouse. And then what happened was when Brett Kavanaugh left, he just, you know, he left through the back door to avoid them. That's all I know of it. If you know any more specifics on it, you can leave it in the comment section below. But here's Hannity and his gaggle of idiots discussing this issue. And I want to compare and contrast this with if the shoe was on the other foot and if the ideologies were different. Okay, so let's listen.
An assassination plot against him. He's in a steakhouse.
So what?
Harassing, they're intimidating.
An assassination plot? Oh my god. Are we serious? That's like what we literally start with? Oh my god. It's like, get fucked, you worthless little fascist, chauvinistic little fuck. Oh my god. Like, what? It's like, whatever. Like, yeah, I'm sure there's probably, like, some dumb fuck out there who is, like, you know, like, man, I wish I could just, you know, whatever, but, like, yeah, is someone actually literally, you know, going out of their way to organize, you know, an assassination plot? No, I don't think there is. Like, get fucked, Hannity. Like, Jesus Christ. Just start off with some hyperbolic sensationalism. Nice.
Assassination plot against Brett Kavanaugh. There was an assassination plot, and it was stopped. But these people who were doing the protesting have nothing to do with that at all, in the slightest. Let's continue.
Them. Then you got Karine Jean-Pierre. Joe Biden says they shouldn't stop these protests. Pete Buttigieg says they should expect it.
Did you just call him Pete Buttigieg?
Buttigieg?
I have to hear that again.
Wait, what? Wait, hold on.
Pete Buttigieg says they should expect...
Pete Buttigieg? What?
Tell me he said that.
Protest. Pete Buttigieg says they should expect it.
He said Pete Buttigieg.
No, he said Pete Buttigieg. Like, what? I'm okay. I'm sure it was more or less a Freudian slip thing, like, but okay.
New American Left.
I mean, unfortunately, Sean, I think it is. You know, this is domestic terrorism, what is happening in this country. And where is the AG? Where is the DOJ, the FBI? They're allowing this to happen. And Sean, to your point, I
wonder what her opinion would be about, like, some of the Proud Boys or, like, you know, January 6th and shit like that, you know, when it comes to some of the acts they've done, or, you know, far-right fascist militias literally trying to fucking kidnap, you know, the fucking governor of Michigan and shit. Like, I wonder what she would say about those things. Would that be domestic terrorism? I wonder what she would think about some of these other things that are, you know, domestic terrorist, you know, events and shit, more or less, you know, versus people literally heckling a fucking Supreme Court judge at a fucking bougie-ass restaurant.
On the left that are actually encouraging this sort of behavior. You named a couple.
Yeah, get fucked. I hope it happens to you too, bitch. Like, get like, fuck off. Like, oh my god, this domestic terrorism, accosting and heckling people at restaurants. We kind of deserve it because they're pieces of shit. But no, that's domestic terrorism. And the left is encouraging this behavior. It's like, good. Fuck off. I hope it happens to you too, you goddamn worthless little cretin fucking Barbie doll looking bitch.
People might be familiar with the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, obviously the President of the United States, Joe Biden, that is encouraging people to continue this sort of absurd behavior, but none of us...
So, oh my god, like, it comes from Joe Biden, like, Jesus Christ. I mean, a lot of this type of fucking, you know, scorn and shit, you know, goes to him too, you dumbass.
It's called free speech. It's called free protest. It's called the First Amendment of the United States Constitution.
No
now,
shit.
let me ask you a question. If the roles were reversed, if it was a left Supreme Court justice or a left-wing politician...
Okay, don't tease me that way. Stop.
Any Democrat, doesn't mean to be left-wing. And a bunch of right-wing activists protested them peacefully outside of a restaurant. What would their take be? What would their take be? My guess is they would go right back to that well they love to go to, which is, don't be a triggered snowflake. This is
Yeah, they exactly would say that. It's freedom. Don't be a snowflake. Oh, libs triggered again. Got him. Like, they would always fall back down to that every single fucking time, because pretty much, like, half of their mentality is basically about, like, how we don't live. How we don't live. And it's pretty much, like, half of their mentality. What was this? I swear I didn't edit this. Let me just say what the actual fuck. What? Huh? Poll for women. At what age did men start oogling you / flirting with you? 11 to 12, 13 for 14, 15 to 16 view results. 10. Wait, what? What? Wait, what the fuck? Wait. Okay. Where's my firearm? I have a very strong instinctual urge to load it and magged up something. Like, I'm wondering what I could say that doesn't ban me. Because, I just want to know what this person looks like, honestly. Because then I can judge whether this person has a soul or not. As they I like, fuck, I don't even know what, I literally just, see, I just can't. I just need to keep my fucking mouth shut. Because fuck, like, the strong urges to say many things is very strong. Like, I actually literally have, like, an itchy trigger finger now. I actually have an itchy trigger finger. Like, I actually do. Like, I honestly, like, want to... like, sir, I'm not even kidding. Like, holy fuck. Like... Also, metfluorine should not apply to anyone under the age of 18. No shit. Like, God, I really all of a sudden have a strong urge to go target shooting. I'll just put it that way. I really fucking do. Man, you got me riled the fuck up real quick. Jesus Christ. Fuck thing is, I just can't say anything. I literally just can't say anything about it. I just, Man, I'm all tense. I'm all fucking, like, pumped and ready to go. I'm, like, bouncing here like a fucking springboard here and shit now, dude. Woo! Oh. Oh, man, I am spiced up now. I am spiced up now. They're trying to learn if anyone more than 5 years younger or older than me, and I'm 28. So, that also kind of implies that I'm at, like, your minimum limit then, because I'm 24 myself. So... just, you know, when it comes to some of your random little flirtatious little comments that I know you do. It's like, oh, looks like you're nearing your max limit on that one, bubby. Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way with that, because being 24, 5 years behind that, 19. So, yeah, like, honestly, and even then, like, honestly, I'd rather have somebody who's, like, 21 and up. Because then we can go to bars and go to, like, 21 and over concerts, shit like that. So, it's just, like, I mean, honestly, if you're, like, I mean, 20 and about, like, you know, 20 is, like, okay. But, you know, I guess there's a way to maybe, you know, sneak some brewskis, you know, for the person or whatever the fuck, you know, every now and then and shit, if they want it. But, because they're going to be 21 soon anyway. But, like, you know, fucking, it's, like, if you're 19, it's, like, no. It's, like, no, you're a pipsqueak. It gets worse. I don't even want to rile myself up anymore. I'm not clicking that. Like, straight up, I don't want to, like, rile myself up more, because then I'm going to have the strong urge to go at least maintain and start cleaning my gun instead of fucking, you know, like, wanting to target shoot and shit, because I don't got anywhere to do that around here. So I could clean it. Because the urge to hold it, at the very least, is strong, especially with what you just... I don't know who that Ami liberal is, but I would not have... I'll just have, like, primal grunts and screeches. So, like... Ugh. I think it's Destiny. Is it? Wait, is that fucking Destiny? Are you serious? Hold on. Okay, wait a minute. Wait. Is that? Oh, wait. Oh, fuck, it is. Oh, this is Destiny. Oh, so I know who this motherfucker looks. Oh, well. Ah. Well, my feelings are still the same. If anything, it would be a lot easier, too, because he's not exactly Chad, like he's fucking tweeting as a response to this. Yeah. Honestly, the urge is stronger now. Oh, and he has kids himself. Let that sink in. He has children himself. and he is openly wanting to. Okay. Anything that isn't like just being sent to the fucking sun is like a fucking like compassionate fucking view of him. Like, let's just put it that way. CPS immediately. Yeah, no shit. Frankly, like, this could be used as evidence to have his children taken away from him, and they should. Like, they absolutely fucking should. Destiny's kids should absolutely be taken away from him. And he should never be able to see them ever again, have any contact with them ever again. Like this, like, unironically a fucking pedophile, openly admitting it on Twitter. And not just, like, being open about it, but, like, just, yeah, no, fuck that dude. Years ago, then he said right-wingers he left it, when he said right-wingers he left the school. I always thought it was kind of a piece of shit anyway, you know, especially after, like, things like Rittenhouse and the fucking 2020 and shit like that. But frankly, at this point, like, he has, like there is no, like, merit or no value to have any conversation or anything. And the fact that people are, like, especially knowing this shit, you know, like, it's like the fact that, you know, he's able to have a platform and shit is fucking kind of barbaric. So, fuck this guy. He should be, you know, have, you know, like, every part of his life fucking crumble around him as far as I give a shit. Maybe he could save me the bullet with one he has himself. Satire, YouTube. Fuck, I don't even know if I can even... Never mind. See? Yeah! It's an uncertified loon. Yeah. Outright. Not just a loon, but legit, like, honestly, like, I always thought of him as kind of like a major narcissist, but it's, you know, but considering a lot of this type of shit, he doesn't, you know, straight up, you know, like, see himself at all as being, you know, able to be held accountable to this type of shit, apparently. Because he's sending, like, Chad memes and shit, you know, over being called out for openly wanting to rape a 10-year-old. In slightly better news, I'm enjoying Hunter Avalon's turn to leftism. I am too. Avalon's been pretty base lately. Let him have Destiny's Kids or some shit, because at least he will be a legitimate fucking parent and actually give a fuck. Plus, he already has some kids, so they'll have, you know, some friends to hang out with, and, you know, and all that shit, so. He would qualify a lot better for it. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's probably plenty of other parents that are wanting to be parents out there and shit that qualify too, so, either way. As long as his kids actually have, you know, it's like a dad isn't a pedophilic fucking narcissistic piece of scumfuck. Where are those brain dead bottom feeders are praising his every word? I don't fucking know, dude. Like, that would have to literally be done by, like, the top scientists and psychologists of Earth and humanity, because frankly, I don't think that's something that can be answered. Like, I don't even think, like, you know, this is, like, I know there's, like, a lot of motherfuckers out there that would, like, hate on Voss shit. I don't even think he'd be doing this shit. If this isn't proof that some people should not be allowed to be parents, then all I can say is that you need to be in a padded room. Yeah, no shit. Straight up. This is why, I mean, those type of tweets and shit are pretty much the main reason why, you know, no, not just the main reason, but one of the main reasons, at least, is why, you know, there definitely just shouldn't, you know, some people just don't deserve the right to be fucking parents. Because they're just going to be nothing but an absolute detriment to them in one way or another. And in this case, you know, due to their fucking, you know, innocence and shit with, you know, being sexually fucking exploited and taken advantage of. Man, that boy is knocked out. Oh, speaking of Hunter Avalon, he's live right now. Impromptu debate about AOC harassment.
And this kind of a thing. So yes, someone like me unironically has to get up here and say, hey guys, you know, sexual harassment bad. I know, I'm such a brave and moral person, but unfortunately your dipshittery makes it so that I am now justified in being this brave.
Wait, what did we stumble into?
You must be loving this.
And another ad hom attack. Man, you're really grasping right here, buddy. Do you want to try again?
Yeah.
Who's this guy?
You want to try again?
Think it's another bullseye for RPG is what that was.
So because it was funny, that justifies it to you. Again, what other than rape and murder, I would agree with you. Yeah, you probably couldn't justify that with it's funny. What else do you think couldn't be justified with it was funny?
Rape, murder, violence.
Besides, is there any kind of speech, any kind of verbal action that you think wouldn't be okay to be said repeatedly towards somebody if then you were like, well, you know, it's just a joke?
When it comes to speech, I'm pretty much a free speech guy. I think, you know, for the most part, like words.
So if a full-grown man is talking to the little girl at the park saying, hey, you're cute, hey, what's up, you're cute, and then when she says, stop, you're making me uncomfortable, he can just say it was just a joke and it's okay in your mind?
No, because that's not just words. That's words plus pedophilia. That's more so pedophilia than words. Obviously, when I say free speech, I mean
it was words in regards to a sexual attraction, just the same as what Alex Stein did.
This is why I can't talk to people like you, because...
Oh boy. I don't know the specific context of the tweet and shit, because I guess AOC was harassed by Alex Stein or whatever the fuck. Whoever that is sounds like a pompous scumfuck conservative dipshit anyway. Because there's a lot of them, like, low-key thirst for AOC and shit, despite hating her for being a lefty. Because, like, a part of them is like, God, I wish she was conservative because she would be such a perfect Latino trad wife, but god damn it, she's a progressive communist, fuck, man. Even though she isn't that, really. She's just kind of a progressive left type that, even then, barely really does that. So, it's just like, I mean... She's just, yeah, so, but either way, it's just like, it's just ridiculous. Like, they all, like, look at her and be like, oh my god, she's so hot. But fucking just, like, they have to just, like, resort to a lot of different things like sexual harassment or just, like, calling her out for being a common live and shit, because, or, you know, or just random shit like that, because they don't really have anything else to refute her with.
So you would take offense to that, but you wouldn't...
Self-refuting argument. I'm all in favor for free speech, well, except in this context.
Sexual harassment, so long as it's directed towards somebody you don't like.
Well, I also, in general, like,
I also just think that, you know, maybe in some ways, no.
A blanket rule of thumb that it's always okay. I think in general we should not be sexually harassing, absolutely.
Unless people say it's a joke.
Well, I think if it's blatantly a joke and nobody is harmed and nobody feels threatened and, like let's say, for example, that it wasn't evident that he was joking around. Like, you know, he wasn't smiling from ear to... It was, though, because she leaned in for a selfie with peace fingers.
It doesn't matter. That's whataboutism. I don't care if he was smiling. I don't care if he was being aggressive. All that matters is what he said and what was said directed towards her.
If you're just throwing that word out there, explain to me how that's whataboutism. Because I don't know
what whataboutism is where you start bringing up something else that's irrelevant and saying, what about this? So you're saying, what about the fact that she also bent over to take a selfie? Clearly, she didn't have a problem with it. All of that is irrelevant. That is all fucking irrelevant. All that I'm talking about is what was said directed towards AOC and whether or not that classifies as sexual harassment, which so far it's been obviously demonstrated that it does.
This dude is trying to, like, really get, like, an edge on or not. There's a tense debate whether she saw it or not she saw it. Yeah, basically, like, some dude apparently, like, tweeted, you know, some sexual harassment bullshit at AOC, and this dude that he's debating is like, hey, you know, that's actually kind of cool and shit, and that's kind of what I'm getting at, because we were talking about Hunter Avalon, I'm like, huh, he happens to be live right now, let's kind of tune in and see what's up, and this is literally what we kind of popped into a little bit. Like, the dude just strikes me as a guy that's just, like, wanting to use free speech as an excuse to just kind of be kind of an asshole, essentially, just from the gist of what I'm getting at off the guy. I have no idea who he's specifically talking to. I think just some random dork on Twitter or or whatever the fuck. Well, sweet. Well, that I actually don't know 100% of and shit. I mean, this pretty much is all I saw is like impromptu debate about AFC harassment. I'm like, huh? It's kind of like, all right, well, let's see what this is about. I mean, I'm not on Twitter that much anymore outside of like whatever gets randomly sent to me. So, like, if unless it's like sent to me, chances are I'm probably not gonna see it. Unless this might be it. Nope. I mean, but yeah, this guy what I mean. You're on Twitter now. Cost of living. Me, my Sally, skating on us. Goddamn. I mean, honestly, at this point, he's already ganged on us. This point passed. We've already passed this point. We've been at the point of no return. Here, I'll check out maybe a little bit more of this. See if.
And again, you're obfuscating now. You're trying to change the context entirely.
No, not really. No, I'm not. Because what I'm saying is, in this situation with Alex Stein, this is a comedian who was clearly
AOC wasn't wanting to be at a comedian's show. She didn't go anywhere. That was that is not irrelevant at all. If somebody goes to a comedy club, hold on, wait. If somebody goes to a comedy club where it's generally understood that this person might make fun of you or make like sexually charged jokes at the audience's expense, that is still different context than somebody walking into their job while someone else is waiting outside for them and then starts shouting that they have a nice ass. Surely you must realize this, and if you don't, then I think again you might just be, stupid.
I'm pretty sure, okay, now I'm seeing some of the context of it. Yeah, if you're just like waiting for someone outside of the work with no one knowing she's probably like what, outside the Capitol or whatever the fuck. And this dork is just like, nice ass there, which like this is pretty much the equivalent of catcalling, which is sexual harassment.
Then there's an expectation that you're going to be heckled, right? If you are a public
welcome
figure,
to my neighborhood.
Different
role initiative.
I don't think it is.
And sexual harassment specifically.
Wrong. Same thing. Go ahead.
Being heckled is the same as sexual harassment?
No, it's not.
Harassment. So heckling someone is a form of harassment. Agree or disagree?
No, it's not.
Depend again in the context. It could be, yes, just like how Kavanaugh was harassed. That was also.
Was actually for somewhere was on Twitter. I'm assuming what Alex Stein did was record the thing and posted it on Twitter, and people on Twitter got on him about it. That's what my assumption is. I mean, obviously, I still don't know all of it. But that's kind of from what I'm collecting so far from the context, that's what I'm getting at.
Harassment as well.
When you were marching outside of his home and like that one dude like threatened to assassinate him, that was just heckling.
No, that would have been even worse than
wait, hold on. Did this motherfucker just try to compare like the dude trying to run at Brett Kavanaugh's fucking house and shit as like heckling? No, that's like a dude trespassing and probably trying to assassinate the guy. I mean, like, if anything, from my understanding of that, like, the dude wanted to be arrested. So it's just like, I mean, he wasn't even really trying to do anything to him. He just knew he could easily be arrested doing that. So, I mean, like, like, that's not exactly heckling there, you dipshit. Oh my god. Wow. Okay. This dude is actually trying to fucking grasp at straws. Like, he actually is. Oh my god. I did not have the fucking patience of Hunter to be, to deal with people like that. Like, oh my god, I just be like, bro, you're grasping at straws, you're actually being a fucking idiot. Like, holy shit. Like, be gone. Be done. I'd be done with you. Oh, Jesus Christ. I still kind of want to know a little bit about the origins of what kind of kicked us off a little bit. I mean, I'm assuming maybe in here it might be like, no. Oh, shit. Oh, just wait to accept phone calls on her. Oh, cool. Oh, maybe I can have a chat with one of these days or something if I wanted to. Actually, I'd probably have to be a little cautious when I want to fuck him on Twitch, though. Just because my tenure with that at the moment. With my more strenuous relations with the Bezos. Are you awake over there? Oh, you're just knocked out, huh? Bruh. Oh, he's just knocked the fuck out. Are you growling at me? Hey! No, it's me. What the hell? Hey! What? Now what? Now what? Hey! Hey, Zukov? Bro! Bro! You get riled up because I was getting your attention? You jerk. Quit being a jerk. Bruh. Bruh. Yeah, Theo. You baby. Come here. Come here. Come here, but you jerk. Man, you're... Bruh. Come here. Are you gonna come here or what? Come on. I might give you a treat. Speaking of which, since I have payday today, definitely gonna make sure I re-up on his treats. Oh, did you find it? AOC is my favorite big booty Latina. Oh my fucking god.
Booty Latina, I love you, AOC. You're my favorite. She wants to kill babies, but she's still beautiful. You look very beautiful in that dress. You look very sexy. Look at that booty on AOC. That's my favorite big booty Latina.
I want to do a little selfie.
I love it. My favorite AOC. Nice to meet you, AOC. Look how sexy she looks in that dress. Woo, I love it, AOC. Hot, hot, hot like a tamale.
Well, that's some cringe. Yeah, I'd say that's kind of like the equivalent of catcalling and shit. A little bit. Well, that was kind of like, you know, a little bit of a... what was that again? Yeah, like, yeah, the money! It's like, oh my god. It's like, shut the fuck... Oh, god. Ugh. Bruh. It was dumb, but I don't think the police need to get involved like she was saying. Oh, was AOC saying that? Well, yeah, the police didn't need to get involved. I mean, if anything, she looks like she was about to confront him herself. So it's just like, I mean, yeah, if anything, I don't think, you know, the cops need to be involved. I mean, if anything, I was kind of hoping the staffer wouldn't, like, you know, stop her and just let her confront him and shit. Because, like, honestly, I kind of want to see that. I want to see AOC, you know, actually confront, you know, fuckers and actually be aggressive a little bit. Like, I actually want to see that. Like, I mean, don't let your staffers hold you back. Like, what the fuck? I mean, so, I mean, it looked like, you know, staffers like, you know, just take it lightly, just come on, keep walking, you know, it's just like, you know, just like, do something different, you know, or do something, you know, like, nice to, you know, play it off or whatever. That's probably what, you know, Stafford is saying. It's like holding her back. Like, just play it off, or whatever. Because she probably wanted to confront him and say some shit. Like, that initial, like, walk up to him was like, I'm gonna start saying some words to you, bitch. Way more views, which is what he wanted. I mean, at the same time, I also want to see AOC actually kind of, you know, like, have, you know, a little bit of aggression in her a bit, you know, so, I don't know, like, I mean, I guess in a way it would be kind of satisfying to see him get confronted and kind of shut down, but also the people that, you know, simp up to this stupid fuck, you know, be like, oh, well, yeah, see, you crazy AOC, right? But they already do that anyway, because they always try to make her look like some crazy googly-eyed psycho lady or some shit. So, I mean, it's like, it wouldn't necessarily be anything new, but at least it would be a little different seeing AOC get a little bit more aggressive with these people. It is so disturbing how this tastes exactly like fucking Fruit Loops. So disturbing. Okay, I'm hearing a dog, and I swear Zukov starts going off because of that. Oh, I haven't paying attention. Good. Good. I mean, I guess in a sense, you know, the video is good too because it just makes him look like a fucking weird, cringy, catcalling dude trying to seek attention from AOC, especially. So, I mean, I guess either way, it works out, you know, when it comes to it. Like, if she decided to be aggressive, you know, that would have been good, and, you know, because she would just would have been simply shutting him down. But at the same time, her just kind of walking off and not giving a fuck a little bit, at least especially in the immediate moment, you know, just kind of makes him look like an idiot. That's kind of cringy. That last little bit, though, that's, like, what really got it, like, peak cringe, though. Where it's just like, ay, tamale! It's like, that was just like the peak cringe of the video. It's like, oh, it's like, oh man, that is like, shut up, ugh. It's like, you already were bad enough, like, man, you had to really top it off. It's like the cherry on the cringe pie, dude, like, ah, man. The comments were insane. Oh, you know, I didn't even look at those. Should have claimed tamale was racist, hell. Jill Biden not compared Latino people to tacos just 48 hours earlier. Dang it. What? No, oh my god. Wait, are they actually trying to say that, like... wait, okay, what? Yeah, if you're referring to, like, a Latino woman that you think is, well, very sexy as, like, a hot tamale, you know, especially in the way that this dork was doing it, yeah... I wouldn't say it's, like, outright hardcore racism, but it's definitely, like, a little bit of, like, soft racist shit, where it's definitely kind of, like, you know, obviously, you know, sexually, like, sexistly implied, at least, and shit. So it's, like, yeah, I mean, she wouldn't be wrong claiming that. They just think that, like, oh, you know, people on the left literally say everything's racist, so it's just like, ugh. It's like you can't even do, like, you know, softball stuff anymore now. It's like, oh my god. Fucking schmucks. Oh my god, wow. There's one that's just way worse than what Alex Stein did. Should have got some apples and sugar cubes to feed her. Oh, wow. That's even fucking worse. That's worse. It's not AOC, she's a taco according to Brands. Oh my god. These, oh god, okay, I can't. Ugh. I just feel like I had a lot of energy just, like, sucked right out of me just reading some of those. So, ugh. Oof. God damn it. Good burn. A lot sucks up out of you. Oh my fucking god, here we go. Jesus Christ. I like how the Humans Report uploaded this. Ben Shapiro doesn't care if bigotry increases trans suicide rates. How pro-life? It's like, no shit. That worthless, squeamish little fucking caterpillar eyebrowed looking fuck. Like, what, you know, it's like, I mean, what in the actual world, you know, does anyone think that he actually would care about that type of shit? Like, if anything, he probably takes glee out of that shit, knowing that fucking little rat. Why do people think that was funny? I honestly don't even know, man. I mean, it's just... I mean, it just, like, that video really just struck me as just, like, a dude really desperate for attention trying to catcall a chick, but also hate, you know, a lot of shit she believes because she's like, oh, she's a baby killer, but you're sexy, though, hot tamale, da da da, or whatever the fuck, and it's just like, oh my god, bro. You're supposedly a comedian, so like, okay. Alright, I'm just gonna press X to doubt that, but alright. After y'all got riled up, he went right back to his little position and went right back to sleep. Wow. I guess he all got hyped up and riled up because I woke him up. He's like, how dare you? Fuck you. You woke me up, asshole. I might just leave him here when I go on my little walk. Go grab my paycheck and shit later. Because he seems like a sleepy boy. Well, let's see. What random little things could be on a tube at the moment? In this current conjecture. Trump slams Elon Musk and players right wing. Finding out. I like how that's been going around and shit. You kind of already know a little bit about that, though. That was cute. It's funny. But honestly, at the same time, it's a little telling that, you know, people like Musk, too, are also, you know, starting to see themselves more, you know, akin to the liking of people like DeSantis and shit. So, it's a little concerning. But nonetheless, it's still funny how pretty much most people aren't exactly, you know, flocking up to Trump anymore. I mean, I suppose in a way it would be a good thing if he was the nominee, but just because of, you know, there wouldn't be as much of, you know, like a fascist, you know, full-on total takeover and shit like there would be with DeSantis, but, I mean, it's like, I mean, who in the fuck would actually, you know, be better than Biden, though, for the other side? Because, I mean, that isn't... Like, that in itself is not exactly, you know, worth anything. Outside of just, like, the slow inevitability of, you know, fascism shit instead of an outright, you know, quick takeover. I know there's already a lot of people who are pretty much on this whole, you know, push, you know, for Biden not to run now at this point. Even though he promised not to do a second run anyway. So, I mean, honestly, I mean, I kind of hope that he, you know, either does get primaried or just simply doesn't run. Because I think that would just be overall the best, you know, bet for everybody. For every third party. I mean, at least when it comes to national level things, if there ain't no choice, I mean, I'm just not really going to, you know, vote nationally on things like presidential and shit, but... At least state and down ballot and stuff, there's, you know, a lot of, you know, good shit and important stuff going on with that, so I'm gonna make sure I at least, you know, vote where it counts on that. Democrats would probably try to run some celebrity in 28, if not 24. Probably. I mean, honestly, if it's in 28, I honestly would hope that, you know, like someone like John Fetterman would, you know, maybe try to take mantle if he especially wins in Pennsylvania. Because if he at least has some years, to kind of build up a little bit more of, recognition and shit, and a record, being the Senate, then he can, use that as an ability to push nationally and shit. Because he's like somebody I, think, will be really great on a national level. Well, no, with Democrats, they don't. If anything, they literally, will spit in the eye of, their constituents and just expect them to just, take it. So, honestly, it's pretty much the exact opposite on that one. Ugh. His foreign policy is bad. Yeah, I know he's kind of pro-Israel and shit, but I'm honestly kind of wondering if that's just kind of a way for him to not get backlash, from groups like AIPAC, so he actually has a chance of winning, or if that's, legitimately one of his, actual positions. So, I hope it really isn't, but, I mean, it's, considering the, overall, establishment, if there was a lot of fundamental change, but yet that was still something that, needed to work on still, despite a lot of these other changes that, he could potentially get. I mean, that would at least, be, okay in my mind, but not necessarily, obviously the best result or even really the end-all be-all. But honestly, I could see him being pressured and, being convinced otherwise, too, anyway. I don't think he's, just, someone who's, bought from it. I think he, if he does, probably legit does, have, a pro-Israel sentiment. But he doesn't really speak too much on the issue, so, I mean, I don't know how much of it, is, more so just kind of posturing, or if it's, legitimate, but just doesn't really make it a big issue. So, I mean, I don't know. It's definitely one that, kind of, irks me a bit, but, considering everything else about him, I mean, it's not the biggest deal. It's more of a yellow flag considering everything else about him. Oh, I forgot my tea in my room. God damn it. What time is it right now? It's about 3:35. Cool. Probably go grab my check here in a bit. Then, all that fun shit. I think them still run Matthew McConaughey, however the fuck that's spelled. I think he spelled it right. He's been doing a bunch of political shit, mostly centrist, American centrist, would be easy to control. Yeah. He's also very pro-weed, which is, pretty big, for a lot of Americans. I don't know what his views are on healthcare, but, from what I remember, I think he's at least more of an advocate of at least, something like a public option. But I'm not too sure what his total views are on that, but I mean, honestly, he's not terrible. He wouldn't he would be definitely an incrementalist type, but he wouldn't necessarily be outright terrible. I can at least see him actually doing shit. If Matthew McConaughey was president, I can at least see him legalizing weed. On top of, maybe some other stuff, so it's all in all, I can at least see him doing shit that can at least benefit people. I mean, definitely nowhere near enough that, probably should, but, I can at least see it. I could at least be somewhat satisfied of, if he was, a Democratic nominee, but, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily be, too gung-ho happy about it, but oh, well, I at least know he will probably, push this shit, hope he does, and chances he might, because he's young and somewhat competent, so, and like I said, he's definitely a very pro-weed type of dude, and is more, I could see him at least being more willing to do things that would expand aspects of shit like education, and, and, healthcare and stuff, but not, enough to be super significant, but at least, to kind of get the ball rolling in a sense. Because, like I said, you'll definitely be a lot more of an incrementalist, than anything. I see some species he's been doing, and it's working on political documentaries, I guess. Huh. Well, It's definitely an interesting dude. I mean, honestly, I kind of wish he tried for like a whole governor run in Texas and shit, because I think he would have been alright, you know, doing that. I mean, if anything, it's just like, I mean, I could probably at least, you know, see that being a pretty good ball roll metric of like Texas going purple, in a sense. And maybe also seeing how, you know, he is, you know, when it comes to politics and shit, and seeing if he actually, you know, will do things that can at least be beneficial before putting him on a more national level. But he decided not to, even though he was kind of hinting at it. Booba. Hey, buddy. Yeah, you. Wanna go on a little walk? You look so cute with those little ears. Oh, look at you. Okay, that says probably not. So goof. What a sweet little baby goofball. Should have ran the rock. He could beat this Trump easily. Oh, I mean, yeah, he could. I mean, he does. He pretty much has like no policy at all. But yeah, he would at least, you know, have a very strong likelihood of winning. I mean, I probably wouldn't vote for the guy. I mean, there actually would be a possibility of me voting for McConaughey, but for The Rock, I mean, at least, yeah, if he at least had something to show for it, maybe. But honestly, all in all, probably not. Like, knowing him, he just seems like, you know, a dude who pretty much, like, you know, you whisper anything in his ear, he'll just go with that. Very easy, you know, moldable person when it comes to his politics. A go with the flow type of guy, I guess. He knows how to cut promos and win debate. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because it is very likely that, I mean, because all he has to do is, you know, just say, you know, enough quips and shit. And, you know, basically just be like, oh, yeah, you know, I'm in favor of these things and like this, and you aren't. So, boo, fuck you. And be able to kind of cut the promos and shit like that pretty easily, especially knowing him. It wouldn't be that hard. But, and he is like adamant about staying over there. Goofy dog. What a dork. Anyway, I think I finished the last little bit of this bowl. Then come back later tonight after I go grab my check, do a couple errands, grab some groceries, all that fun shit. Get some lunch too, because I'm kind of hungry. So, anyway, be back later tonight, and of course, peace out, and I'll be around till then.